Joining us now, NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki at the big board. Steve, where to begin?
Where to begin? Well, I happen to be in Pennsylvania right now. Okay. You can see here Trump winning this thing, by 2 points in Pennsylvania. What keyed this? A couple things jump out at me here that kind of spill over to the national storyline. First of all, you talk about the suburbs. We have spent so much time talking about the suburbs in the Trump era, how they've become more democratic, especially suburbs with high concentrations of college degrees, with higher incomes, especially suburbs like the collar counties around Philadelphia. So take a look. This is part of what happened for Trump in Pennsylvania and in other key battleground states tonight. Take a look. Actually, I want to show you Montgomery County. We got a little bit more in Montgomery County, and this is the biggest of the Philadelphia collar counties. It fits the demographic description I was just giving you. This is a place where Democrats have been driving up bigger and bigger margins, and they came into tonight thinking and banking that would continue. And so you take a look here in 2020, Biden won Montgomery County by 26 points. Harris wins it tonight. The margin comes down by 4 points. Again, Democrats were looking at this saying it's going to go north. Maybe it'll get close to 30%, something like that. We saw this in Montgomery. We saw this in Chester. We saw this in Delaware County, other collar counties. We saw this in other states. These big suburban areas that have gotten bluer and bluer. Well, they generally stayed blue like this, but they didn't get bluer this time around. Trump stopped the slide in places like that. And meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, something else, too. I've been saying I think the coalition Trump assembled here, the winning coalition, it's a blue-collar coalition. We talk about that. We've been talking about that for a while. Tonight, or I say tonight, last night, it became a much more diverse blue-collar coalition. So what am I talking about there? You're talking about a place like Luzerne County. This is where Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania is. This is where Hazleton, Pennsylvania is. Hazleton has one of the fastest growing Hispanic populations in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. At the turn of the century, Hazleton was 5% Hispanic. Now it's nearly 70% Hispanic, largely Dominican American. Trump carried the city of Hazleton, and Trump in Luzerne County improved over what he did in 2020. So you see, and we see there's a sort of a network of counties, really cities in this region of Pennsylvania here, small, mid-sized cities with substantial Hispanic populations. And again, a lot of them, there are big blue counties. They got less blue. A lot of them, Kamala Harris actually still won, but Trump made progress. He made progress in all of these counties here. And then to cap it off for Trump, there was this one, Lackawanna County, Scranton. Biden's, originally from Scranton. And just look at this story, because I think you see this throughout, Pennsylvania and the Midwest. A big blue-collar county, not as big of a Hispanic population as some of the others I'm talking about. But look, this was a core Democratic county right through Obama's second election in 2012, almost a 30-point Obama margin in Lackawanna. Trump comes along in 2016. He cuts that down to just over 3 points. Then Biden from Scranton comes along in 2020, and the Democrats they don't get all this back, but they get it close to double digits. And we were saying coming into the night, would it look like 20? That would be bad news for Trump. Would it look like 16? That would be good news. It looks better for him in the end than it did in 16. He's going to lose this by just under 3 points. And again, you just compare that to where this was, back as recently as the Obama era, and you compare it to when Joe Biden ran 4 years ago. Trump clawing back lost support in blue-collar places like Lackawanna County, and even exceeding what he did in 2016. You see that here, and you see that in a lot of these battleground states, especially in the northern tier.
So, Steve, give us the headline for the night, not just in Pennsylvania, but across the country. Is it the 45% Hispanic voters going for a Republican candidate, going for Donald Trump? Was the gender gap not as big as was expected? What are your big 2 or 3 takeaways that explain the redness of the map from coast to coast?
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, in the gender gap one, yeah, absolutely. We're looking at, it looks like about a 20-point gender gap. With that's a big gender gap. It's about 10 points for Harris among women. It's about 10 points for Trump among men. But in the context of polls that showed this might be a 30, 35-point gender gap, and especially in the context of, I think you mentioned it in that last segment, the Iowa poll the weekend before the election that was suggesting here's this, thought to be deep red state suddenly in play because of this seismic move of women, especially senior women, against Trump. That got everybody thinking, boy, is that going to be the story in Iowa? Is that going to be the story everywhere? And we just don't see that. That's not popping up on this map. I showed you those suburbs of Philadelphia. That's exactly the kind of place you would have looked for that. So I think that's part of it. And the Hispanic vote, I'm giving it to you in the context of Pennsylvania, but I think more broadly, the Hispanic vote in this working class, sort of multi-ethnic coalition, that really is what this looks like for Trump that he pulled together here. The implications for that extend far beyond the battleground. And just take you through some of these. I think Willie mentioned it in New Jersey. This is a 5-point race in a state that Joe Biden won by 16 points. If this holds, this will be the closest New Jersey has been in 32 years. Check this out. This county here, Passaic County, the city of Paterson, New Jersey is there. Passaic, New Jersey. You're talking about a 45% or so Hispanic county. Democrats just automatically win this in New Jersey. Look, it's red tonight. Donald Trump looks like he's going to carry Passaic County. I think Willie mentioned Hudson County. This is a massive, massive county. You've got cities here like Union City, New Jersey, that's 80% Hispanic. This was a 46-point win for Biden that comes down to 28 points. New York State, again, just about a 12-point, 11-point margin there for Harris in New York. That's cut in half from where Biden was. These New York City gains for Donald Trump, double-digit gains. Some of those boroughs even bigger than that, even getting close to 20-point Trump gains there. Look at Illinois right now with 91% of the vote in. Harris is winning Illinois by 4 points. Compare that to 4 years ago when Biden won it by 17 points. This is what this sort of multi-ethnic working class coalition has helped Trump do in these states. It doesn't give him a single extra electoral vote. He still loses all of these states. But what it does do is look at the national popular vote where it stands right now. That is a better than 5 million vote advantage for Donald Trump. And if you're thinking, as in the past, California is going to come in late. It's going to be a huge, massive Democratic landslide there that's going to overturn all of this. When Trump starts racking up, the kinds of improvements he has in huge blue states like New York and New Jersey and Illinois. I'll give you another one. Look at Maryland. Okay, 23 points, landslide for the Democrats. Well, 4 years ago, it was 33 points. Again, Trump, that's a pretty big-sized state there. That's a double-digit gain for Trump right there. Those kinds of gains, without even gaining an actual electoral vote, have given Trump a kind of advantage here so far in the popular vote that eclipses anything he got before in 2016 and 2020, enough to withstand California. I think if you're the Trump folks and you want to win the national popular vote, you're feeling very good that you'll withstand California. You'll end up with the popular vote. And we could talk. Does he get an outright majority? That won't be decided for a while, too. He could easily win it without getting a majority, but totally different than 4 years ago when we're talking about, 7 million vote gap nationally, 4.5 points, all of that. This is the effects of the coalition Trump has have been felt well outside of the core battleground.
Yeah, running up big totals in states he didn't even win. Steve, can I ask you about the Senate? I think Republicans surprised even by their margin there, what it looks like it might end up being in the closely